Hey, happy Thursday. Welcome back. If you've joined us before, if you are new, welcome and I hope you enjoy. I was just checking out whatever my chickens are doing out there today. My name is Stacy. This is Flionfree Fibers, my YouTube channel where I talk about all the things I make. I am coming to you from my farm, Easy Acres Homestead in Northeast Connecticut. Um, I talk about all things fiber related here. I dabble in all sorts of fiber crafts. I support my farm. I have a fiber farm and I support it via fiber crafts. So we kind of bounce all over. So knitting, crocheting, weaving, felting. If you're into fiber crafts, this is the place for you. So, let's see. It's been a crazy week, but before we get, if you like what you see today, give us a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, so you know when we put out. I usually put out a video. Wow, every Thursday. My brain went right there. Every Thursday, and kind of an update on what's going on during the week. Update for what's going on the farm, an update on my shop on Etsy, so all sorts of things. So you can find my farm at Easy Acres Homestead on both Facebook and Instagram. Flionfree Fibers on Instagram as well, and that is also the name of my Ravelry store is Flionfree Fibers. I am on, my Etsy store. I am on Ravelry, Flionfree as well. And you can find, if you are a Shave 'em to Save 'em passport holder and you are looking to fill up your passport, you can find me with both Flionfree Fibers and Easy Acres Homestead on the Shave 'em to Save 'em directory. But you could just go right to my Etsy store. So what we have this week? There's been so much going on. I will remember to start with what I'm wearing. So I did make, so this is a finished object for this week. I made another one of the Hearthside beanies that I went over last week. I'm going to keep this one. The other one is here. This is the first one I made for the test knit. I believe the pattern's coming out on Sunday, so you can find that on Ravelry. It is made with a worsted weight yarn. You have 3 colors. It is color work, but it is, I think it's beginner color work, beginner friendly. And I actually, the gray is a Shetland. I used an Aran weight, but they're close enough. I'm going to keep this one. This one's been washed in blocks, so that will be available at the market this weekend. Like I said, it is Rogue Ambitions Knits. You can find it on Ravelry. The pattern will be, I believe she said Sunday is when she's releasing the pattern. So this one's mine. So I'm happy to wear it. So another finished object. I usually make 2. I just want to make sure with patterns that I didn't miss anything and everything. And usually like I'll find a little blip that I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I want to try something a little different with it. So this was my second one I finished this week. For me, I can get this done in an evening. I usually split it up. I'll usually go until I reach the decreases and then I'll put it down and finish it up the next day because it's a real quick like morning thing for me. If I don't have something small to work on in the morning, I'm kind of lost because I'll push like into a big project and I still have to like work out and go feed and everything. So I don't like to get into bigger things before I get all my stuff done so I can really get into my day. But what else am I? Oh, and this I will insert a picture of it coming off the loom. I shake out the fringe. This is a weave I did over a year ago. I made it for my mother-in-law before she passed. It is 100% cotton. It is a pickup pattern. it is my own. I don't tend to weave via patterns, per se, like book patterns. I make up my own knits. So our weaves, so it is hem stitched and also tied. It is a plain weave, and then it goes into a pickup pattern, and it does that throughout. If you ever want like details, sometimes I put details on. I'll try putting details of my weaving on Ravelry if it's something a little more like this. But it is made out of Taki Yarns Cotton Classic Light. So this is 100% mercerized cotton. And let's see, Barocco Vivo. So these are the colorways I made it out of, and I had extra, or I bought extra. This is also 100% cotton. It is 3.5 ounces, 317 yards. It is colorway 3511, so you can see how the colors change in it. It also has this texture, like these little blip bumps and stuff in it, which is why I weaved it the way I did. I wanted it to be able to show off the texture. So I didn't want just this like tight, you can see it's a loose weave. One, it was going to Florida, and two, I wanted to keep the detail of the texture of the yarn in the piece. So pick up and doing a loose weave is where you can kind of keep that texture. Let's see. So that is that. What happened this past week? So many things. So we did get the big snowstorm. It went up and down as far as how much we were going to get. We ended, I don't even know how many inches, because it was a heavy snow, so it just packed down. It went all night, the entire next day. So that was all day Sunday. Everything was shut down Monday. Well, as far as my husband's work, my son did go to work. And of course I was here, so I work. But it was a lot of snow. It wasn't too bad because everyone's up by the house. So as far as the farm goes, we didn't have to go out and plow paths out to the pastures and get to everything. So that, really liking that this year. Everyone stayed cozy. We did not have any lambs. So I had a sheep that is bagging up, and I thought like for sure, because storms always cause animals to go, and people, into labor. But that didn't happen. So, and then immediately after, we had a day of nothing, and then we get this huge rainstorm. Huge, like 2 to 4 inches, crazy winds, power everywhere. Thankfully, we didn't lose power. So we did not lose power this time. I'm trying to think, like, did we lose power in the snow? So no power loss for that storm, but the rain caused a ton of flooding. So yesterday morning in our area, when my husband and my son went to leave for work, like they had to take totally different routes because major like state roads were closed because the water was over the roads. Everything, I mean, between the amount of snow we had, which is probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches, and that's packed, on top of like 2 to 4 inches of rain, all the rivers were overflowing. And the roads were over them, like water was over the roads. They closed everything. I believe Norwich, like, I don't even know. I haven't checked today as far as the dam. A dam partially broke in Norwich, flooded downtown Norwich. Now that's been flooding since I was a kid. Norwich town area has been flooding. Like I remember driving my car and the water being up to the door. If it rained real hard, we got that. And that's always kind of been an issue down there. But the dam partially broke the Antic River, and downtown Norwich was flooded. It's not the first time. So if you're in that area, I mean, you got to know that's happened. So, oh gosh. So that's just like weather wise. So the farm, we're back to like a mud farm right now because of all the water. It is a mess. And I've got a lot of cleaning up to do to get everything kind of prepared for the next one. They're talking snow next week. So yay. But let's get into what else has been going on? I have a few new things. You know, I could have a whole segment on what did I forget last week? Because I believe I forgot some things last week. What did I forget last week? I had some new things that I didn't show. So last week I had said that I wake up like once a week at like 2 a.m. and I'm wide awake and can't get back to sleep. Well, that last week was one of those days. I actually recorded twice because I felt like the first time I was so rambly that I literally got to the end and just hit delete and didn't even keep it and started all over. And then I forgot things. So one of the things I forgot, and most people know this book, but I got this book after I got the last one, which for me, I was like, they didn't have a lot about the Gulf Coast Native, which are the sheep we raise. They are critically endangered. So, but I have another book that I still want. So I'm trying to like just kind of work on my book collection. The thing about this book that I, for some reason, didn't even realize is the Fleece and Fiber Source Book. Now they have like a field guide too that's smaller. It's not just sheep. It is everything. Like, and I don't know how I didn't know that, but camels, something I don't even know, bison, oxen, yaks, like everything. And there's also rabbits. I believe I saw rabbits in here and I was like, really? So what a great resource, because I tend to mix fibers when I'm making bats. So like I will do my Gulf Coast Native wool and I will put some of my mohair in it. I have alpaca from other farms. I have my rabbit fiber. So right now, and I don't know if you follow on Facebook, I made Rolags this week out of one of the fleeces the rabbit fleeces that I've been spinning. So, I was spinning it so this came combed. This is someone else's, Angora, and it came combed, and it was okay until I got like deeper into the bag and everything seemed kind of tangly and there was hay in it. And I was like, what the hell? So always check when you're buying a fleece or buying fiber. Don't just look at the top, look in the back. So I carded it out and made little Rolag pony things out of it. So I'll be spinning from those. And then I also so those are all done. I have a bunch of them. I'm probably going to put some in my stores, but this is my rabbit Meatloaf that passed away. So I started doing his as well. I need to comb his today. We'll see how my arms feel because my arms are kind of sore from my workout this morning. But see the sheen on that? Oh God. When it catches the light, it is incredible. He had such a beautiful, beautiful coat. And then yesterday, I groomed Honeysuckle. Look at all that fiber. This is over 2.5 ounces. Oh, look at that sheen. Look at it. Of Honeysuckle's fiber. So we had a good little time snuggling. Oh my God, it's so soft. I'm probably gonna have to go in the bathroom and like steam the place up to work because it's so dry with the winter and it gets so fluffy. And just little flyaways everywhere. So 2.5 ounces of her fiber. I need to work with my little man today. I kind of named him and then I haven't named him and I'm never happy with the name. He is a white roux and I don't know. I just haven't picked a name for him. I'll put a picture in here. Maybe you guys can suggest some names. My son named my other rabbit Meatloaf, which I was like, no. We're not calling him Meatloaf. But then it ended up sticking, so he was Meatloaf. Honeysuckle has had her name since day one, but I haven't had a name for him. I was like, do I just call him Peter? That's kind of cliche. But he is white. I don't know. But that's where I'm at with that. Oh gosh, what other things? I have been all over. So last week I showed some mini skein, well, they're hanks, but everyone calls them skeins. Some mini hanks that I had finished, and this week I finished up a larger hank. So this is 106 yards, pure 100% Angora. It is 36 grams, so I don't know, like 1.25 ounces. So I don't really put I don't put a weight on them as far as, if it's fingering or whatever, because it's hand spun. It goes thick and thin, and then it's rabbit, so there might be little blips in there. But it's beautifully textured, and oh, it's so fuzzy and wonderful. So I'm getting these made up, and I'll have them. I'm gonna put them in my. Maybe it depends. It depends on how fast they go at the market. But I came up with another idea while I was making dryer balls. So I was totally sold out of dryer balls from the holidays, and I was also sold out of soap bags. So I've been like whipping them out. And if you don't know, this is a soap bag. And it's not finished. I got to put the tie. There's a tie that goes here, and then you can cinch it. But I crochet these, and see the little holes? So that lets the soap suds and stuff come out. This is a scrubby yarn. It is 100% cotton. I started, God, I got into these. I was making them myself because I use goat milk soap. Usually, always goat milk soap, unless I can find cheap soap. So, but it melts. It melts incredibly fast, especially if it's in the water in the shower, or if you have like people that just don't like to use the whole bar of soap, or just that mess in the shower. So I made soap bags. You put the bar of soap in there, and then you pull the tie, and I hang it up in the shower when I'm done. So it's hung up out of the water with the little whatever those are, the ones you can peel and stick hooks. I hang that up. God, I always forget the name of those things. And the command, yeah, I think so. And I hang it up. So every time I need a new bar of soap, that goes in the wash, because it's just a washcloth. It goes in the wash. I pick out a new one, and new bar of soap goes in that. So I sell these like crazy, like hotcakes at markets. I'll even have like a soap vendor across from me. They might have some, but I sell these like hotcakes. So I'm always making these. I started them for me, and then I offered to make them for a local soap vendor, and she buys them now like 30 at a time. So I have them myself, and then she sells them. So while I was making those and doing dryer balls from my sheep, I use so when I card and stuff, there's always like this leftover stuff that goes on the small part of the drum carder. And that usually goes into dry balls, or if I'm combing, everything like that's the excess on the combs goes into dryer balls. So I was combing, and I decided, what if I made little dryer balls that aren't actually balls? So what I'm gonna do, it's kind of a ball, but it's oblong. I'm gonna shape this a little more with the needles and make little Easter eggs. And I may actually make these for kits. So this is Gulf Coast native wool. They felt incredibly well. They have not all wool felt at the same rate. They have a great felting wool. So I'm going to make Easter eggs and felt up some Easter eggs, and then maybe sell the egg cores for kits for people that like felting. So I have a lot of people that come and look for kids crafts at my table. So if anyone's interested, let me know. I will maybe put some in my store. It would just be more about how to ship them, so I have to look for a way to package them. So if that's interesting. Oh, look at that. Another thing I forgot last week. A friend of mine she makes project bags and all sorts of like accessory bags and all this stuff. She had these little bags, purse bags. Her name is Christine, and she doesn't sell online or anything. If anyone's interested in bags, or maybe I'll take some pictures when I go to the shop. She does sell at the local yarn shop at Woolworks in Putnam. So she has all sorts of bags. I'll put some pictures in here. But she had these little bags, and because I am a big cyclist, it's like a little thing. I'm going to weave up a wristlet on my ankle loom and have that, because I have a bigger like little wallet purse like this I'm carrying around. I'm awful. Like if I could just hook that to my wrist, because the big one, it's too much. So I picked that up. But I do like, she's got a lot of different bags, and there's some project bags. She's got the square bucket bags, the big bucket bags. There's some that are made with almost like a canvas type material, so they're really well made. She's been doing it for a long time, but no online stuff. She's actually, I think she's in Florida for the winter. So, oh gosh, what else? So many things this week. I've been knitting on, finished objects. I finished this. Oh God, everyone was home because of the snow and like stuck in the house. I was spinning. I had like a really all over the place day. I worked on some fiber. I did my dryer balls. I made some of the eggs. I crocheted. I warped my loom for weaving tonight, my big loom. So that's warped. When I have that finished, I will show it, but I do not recommend the yarn. So I'll show the yarn, but I do not recommend it for weaving. It had so many knots in it. So typically, I believe the standard is for commercial yarn, 3 knots. And this actually did come in a skein. So a skein is a ball that you can just pull from. That's technically, hanks are what we're used to calling skeins. So as I was pulling, it's like this variegated, and it's almost like they marled it and they tied in the new color every time. So every time I hit a new color, there was a knot. And if you weave, there's no knots in weaving. So I had to adjust my warp every time and bring that knot down to one end or the other to make sure I didn't have knots. And because I'm going to weave with the same yarn, I'm like, I'm going to have yarn, like knots that I'm going to have to deal with throughout this project. And it was like a big 874 yards, I believe, skein of yarn. And that's why I bought it, because it was a cotton, it's variegated. I have people that want cotton scarves and stuff. So I think I did it 18 to 20 inches wide. It'll probably end up being, because I did it probably 20 inches. I'm looking over at it right now. I don't know. I did it, it's 24, so yeah, it's probably 20 inches wide, so it'll probably end up being 18 or so when it comes off of the loom. But I got it because I was just like, I just need a brown colorway, kind of more of a neutral cream brown that I can have available, because I had someone specifically ask for like some neutral colors. So I was like, fine, I can do that. And they wanted cotton, not wool. I can do that. I actually went last year to some shows, and there was someone I had purchased some cotton from that I actually went there looking for it, and they didn't bring their cotton. Like I wanted, like at the festivals, I was specifically looking for that cotton and couldn't find it. So that was a little disappointing, but it's a sheep sew, so you don't have to bring cotton. I don't expect anyone to run a business, no matter what it is, based on other people's opinions. So that's something I got into this week with, and there are so many opinions out there, but I'm just going to say it. If you're running a business, what you sell is up to you. It's your business. Like, you do your stuff. If you make everything purple and my favorite color is orange, and why don't you make orange stuff for me, because that's what I want, and I like your stuff and I want orange. Oh well. It's their business. Go make it yourself or find someone that makes orange. I feel that way about, there's so many things I feel like I see people complaining about, like, I really like this and they didn't make it where like I could, it's for me, whether it's like sizing or shaping or whatever. Like, that's why we're fiber artists. Like, adjust it. It's not, I don't feel it is up to the person that designs something. I design stuff. I don't design it for other people. I design it for me. And if I'm going to share it, I'm sharing it, but it's not, I don't feel it's my responsibility to make my art suit other people. So there's some really like great designs I've seen for children. Well, they didn't make it for my size. Oh well. I'm like, that's really cute. I would wear that in an adult form, but it wasn't made in an adult form. So either I figure it out myself, or, oh well, I missed out, or I can go do it myself. It's just, I don't know. I've gotten off on that whole thing this week with someone else, and I was like, I don't believe business is like, it's hard enough to run a business and like get everything out, let alone like try to please people. That's not really why you're in business. Oh, you know what? I went to, if you're in the Rhode Island area, they have a farm fresh market that they do it's like in the Providence area. I went there on Saturday because they were having a fiber week, and Rhode Island Spin Group was there. The Southeast New England Fiber Shed was there. They had a couple different people with their alpaca farms there. If you're in the area, great farmers market. For one, it is indoors, and they have another fiber, I think, coming up. Coastal Wool Washing was there. She is in Rhode Island, so she will actually, if you raise sheep and need it scoured, she can scour. She'll actually skirt it, scour it, everything, and card it for you. So if you're looking to just get it to that level, she doesn't do the spinning. It's not a full mill, but she's a scouring place, and she works with, I believe she's working with another mill that's getting up and running for bigger carding options as well. So not sure how far that'll go, but definitely you can get your stuff over to her if you just need it washed and stuff and you want to spin your own, if you're just like, you have a spinner's flock. I did pop into Distaff Day, the Zoom one that I had mentioned last week with Terry. There was quite a few ladies. I was towards the end of the day because I did go visit that market and had some other errands to run. We went shopping because we had the storm coming. So it was good. There were several ladies in there. I kind of just sat there spinning and listening to the conversation as to what was going on. I did have a lady request some of my sheep wool, so working on getting that bagged up and get that out to her. That was a good connection. It was kind of peaceful. So if anyone took part in a Distaff Rock Day event, I know our local fiber group is doing it this coming Saturday. They meet in Canterbury. So if anyone's in this corner of Connecticut and is unaware, there is a fiber group that meets once a month. If you anyone, I'll share that information in the show notes as far as like where the meeting and the name, and then you could look it up. Oh, I'm just kind of looking at what went on last week. Yeah. Yep, I can't. I put in there knit-alongs. I can't. There's so many knit-alongs right now that I want to do that I just can't. One, I'm like crazy busy, but also I'm trying not to buy yarn. I know I went and bought this because I committed to the test knit and I had some stuff, but it didn't kind of suit what I wanted. And I have one skein for, so I mentioned last week that, and it started on Monday, Junction Fiber Mill is having a cowl knit along. and I put the link in last week's show notes, so I will leave that in this week. It started on Monday, on the 8th, right? Hold on, I'm looking up. Yep, Monday. And they're getting on that. You need 2 skeins of their DK, and it does use the entire. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll use the leftover. But in their Millcast this week, they said that both skeins are completely used up. So I have one of their one skein from them that I was like, oh, I'll use that, but then I need another one, so I needed a contrast color. I don't have what I want in my stash, so I'm behaving and not purchasing because I have so much that I just need to use what I have, and I've got so much of my own wool processing that I need to do and projects I have to work on. I have a deadline coming up on one of them, so that's a special project that I really need to get further along than it is. So on top of keeping up with, market stuff. So can't. I like knit-alongs, but man, there's so much. Can't do it all. All right, I'm going to take a sip of tea because it's a little chilly in here. Oh. So if you're doing a knit along or you have something going on, feel free to share in the show note, like in the comments below. I know other people are always looking for knit alongs, and one size doesn't fit all. So a cowl is a nice smaller one. Some are like, if you've done a Stephen West shawl, that's a huge project. So some are longer than others. This one is a cowl and it's going for 2 months. So you got plenty of time to hop in late or get in on that. I did spinning this week. I finished that. I finished another hat. I finished a bunch of soap bags. I did some, God, I don't even know if I showed all these last week. I made more of these little guys, so, because I have a video I need to do on fringes, so I was playing with that stuff. I am all over the place. I don't really get bored. I did work on my socks. So this is the butterfly colorway from Bad Sheep Yarn, which is retired. I got a bit further. So this is past where a heel would be now. So I am working up the leg. I'm probably going to put at least another 5 inches on here and see how they fit. This is a toe up, 2 at a time, 1x1 ribbed sock. So that's all it is. There is no heel. So if you're afraid of socks, great sock to make. There is no pattern. Maybe I'll write up a pattern and put it out there. It is just a simple sock that does not wear out. It is squishy. This is a DK weight, 75/25 with the nylon in it. Merino, superwash merino. That's where I was last week. So another bit there. I kind of picked these up at the end of the day. I'm tired. Can't focus anymore. And I do a few rows before I pass out in my chair. I had mentioned that I picked up my bamboo needles because this is what I originally made them in, and I liked they're a US size 6. I know people say to put this in hot water and it softens it up. It does, but when it cools off, this thing annoys the heck out of me. And I reconfirmed that I don't love wood needles. They're okay. They're just not my cup of tea. I like my chagos. I like my pointy metal chagos. It's mine, but I'll finish the project with these. I will put up with this stiff thing, but definitely not my favorite. It's probably going to get hung up. I have a few wood sets hanging there behind me. Plus, those are, not my interchangeables, so they're hung up behind me. These are going to be hung up or something. I don't know. They're just not my favorite. So that's where I'm at on that. It is on Ravelry, so I have a link below. They don't wear out. These are such great socks. I can't wait to wear them. What else did I knit on? I have been working on my Musselburgh, still working on my Musselburgh. It's just something like I pick it up. It's another thing I pick up at, actually I've been doing it on what I've done it during meetings, sitting here I'll have a Zoom meeting and I'll just sit here and knit. So it's sitting on my desk. I only got a little bit done this week. So, because, the distaff thing, I was sitting here spinning, and then the meeting, I don't know, there's about an inch done. It didn't last. It was a long meeting. So, and it was all about knitting because it was for our local knitting guild. So the local knitting guild is the Southern New England Knitting Guild. It meets the third Wednesday of every month in Putnam at 6 o'clock. So that is next Wednesday, the 17th. It meets at the Putnam Town Hall. So feel free to join if you're in this area. We have people come from Rhode Island and more towards central Connecticut. And I believe they're going to do some stuff this year, I believe, on off days. They did last year too, so on the weekends and stuff. So keep in tune with that. There is a Ravelry group for that. So if you're not in the area, but you want to kind of stay tuned what's going on, you can jump in there. I'm working on a few other things for them, so hopefully we can reach out to more people in the Southern New England area. What else? God, I had so much this week. It was all over. So the farmer's market last week got canceled, obviously, because of the snow. So I will be, it doesn't look like we have any weather coming, at the Coventry Farmers Market this weekend. That is held, I think it's the high school. I don't know. It's a school. I just know how to get there. So I will be there. It's a great winter market. If you're looking for fresh veggies, there's usually 30-something vendors. So there's quite an array of stuff. I just found another thing I worked on. This is meatloafs. I got to ply this up. This is going to come off the spindle today. So didn't even show that. See, I could tell you I have a whole segment on things I forgot. And then, what else? I did listen to my book a little bit. I went to the Fiber Farmers Market and did not purchase anything. Did not. There were some cute things, but I was just like, no, behave. I'm kind of I need to be on a yarn diet. I did listen to my book a little more. It's kind of, sometimes it gets into the weeds. So I'm like, listen to it because it's like historic and then it kind of jumps back into fiber. So it's all historic, but sometimes it gets off into like other things besides just the fiber. And then it comes back to where, they found some fiber. And how it's degraded in different places. Like they were talking about like some of the bogs where fiber had fallen in and it preserves it. So they were able to look back and actually preserves the color and stuff. So that's where I am on that book. I mean, you really maybe be more into some history than me. I'm interested in the fiber part. So once it goes off onto like other tangents, I zone out. But I don't even know how far I am in that book. Let's see. So I rent books from the library and listen to them. I'm not a reader. So I probably have to re-borrow it. Borrow. Resume. See how far I am. All status. I am 41% through, so there's quite a bit left. And there's if you're interested in the history of fiber and yarn and weaving, like that's where it's at. It's talking about a lot of weaving and who did it, where the responsibilities were as far as the weaving and clothing, how clothing came about. And I think they were going on like, why do people even wear clothing? And it went into this whole thing of how that developed. So if that's stuff you're interested in, it's a great history book on that. I also spoke with a lady that is doing and I think this is a whole group thing. I don't have all the details, but that is interviewing fiber artists in the area for an upcoming presentation or article that they're putting out. I'm going to be meeting with her next week. She's meeting with several other artists in the area. So I'll let you know more about that when I know, but I spoke with her. We finally nailed down a date after the holidays. So I'll be speaking with her. We do not have any lambs yet. I don't even know if I mentioned that, but I think I did. They're coming soon. I'll have pictures as soon as they're here. We'll have lambs, and I'm waiting for a phone call, and I'll be breeding my rabbits. So that's a very short gestation period. So I'll show pictures of that as well. Oh God, there's so many things coming up. So next, I'll be back here before, but the market, the Wayland Market in Massachusetts, if you haven't been there, it's in the Boston area. Their fiber, they have a farmer's market every Saturday, I believe, but they have 2 fiber markets in the winter. And the first one is coming up on the 21st. So put that on your calendar. That is the Wayland Farmers Market, Winter Market. It is up in the Boston area. I have not been yet, but it's been going on for, oh gosh, I don't even know how long. I think like 30 something years. That is the 21st. And then I'm looking at my calendar. I know what I'm looking up at. We have Valentine's Day coming up. The next one, if you can't make it to the 21st of January, is March 3rd is the next one. I'm trying to figure out what that even was that I wrote down. And then Connecticut Sheep and Wool is April 27th. And that takes us out a few months. There is some other stuff coming up, but I don't even know. I'm going to have to decipher my own notes. I have a big wall calendar for the entire year so that I can keep track of what's coming up several months out. Because like a monthly calendar, you can only see a few weeks ahead or not at all. So I have a big entire year calendar so that I can keep track of what's coming up and what, like as far as my markets, what I need to have made and ready for markets, what events are coming up, when my shearing is coming for my sheep, when I have to bring more wool and pick up my yarn from the mill, all sorts of things. So, I mean, I have stuff all the way out until November on there, and I'll just keep filling in as the year goes on and I find more stuff. So, let's see, Easter is the 31st of March, so we're good there. We got Valentine's Day next month. So many things. What is that? I have 2 events on the same day and I don't even know what they are. I might have to go in my phone and, oh, that's what I can do. I put the details in my phone. Let's see, because it is March. I plan way out. Oh, Vogue is coming up. I'm not going to Vogue knitting, but I thought about it. I'm not. I don't want, unless I take the train down. Oh, Know Your Farmer. Know Your Farmer. That is a local event that we have. Actually, I think it happens all over, but for here, it's a local event that comes up, and that is March 9th this year. And I think the same day is also the Plainfield Ag Winter Market is the same day this year. That's what those, I just put abbreviations because it's small up there. Yep. So those are April 9th if you're in the area and you want to check things out. Oh, sorry, March 9th. Yep. Wayland Market is March 3rd and January 21st. Vogue Knitting in New York is coming up. Unless I took a train down, I'm not going, and I had someone to go with me. So we'll see. Tonight is weaving. So my loom is warped. I will be taking off and heading out to that after I work on some other projects and feed for the afternoon. I'll be out of here into weaving. So if you are in the area and want to join us for weaving or want to see what that is about, we meet most every Thursday at Woolworks in Putnam. It is 5 to 7, 7:30, I don't know, but that's where we meet. Come join us. We have a good time. And they do have, there is a weaving teacher there, so she has classes. If you're looking to weave, you can pop in and coordinate with her on her classes. I don't think she has a website, so I can't put a link below, but you can come check it out and coordinate with her there. That's all I have for today. I know it was kind of all over the place. I've got so much going on, but if you want to keep up with what's going on, different projects and fiber arts, it is a full fiber art discussion. So we've talked about weaving, felting, crochet, knitting, all of it, and spinning today. So we've been all over. Give it a like, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. I do post how-tos. There is a how-to on weaving with mini looms. I have a few more to catch up on, and I did do a how-to video on carding. I did not post that yet. Maybe I'll get that posted. We'll see. We'll see how fast it uploads, because it was on my phone. If I record on my phone, it takes longer to get up, and these I just record and hit submit and they go. So unless I got to throw a picture in, which is pretty easy. So that's all I have for today. Like, subscribe, follow along on the fiber adventure, and we'll talk to you next week. Share your events or knit alongs that you're doing so other people can find them, and have a great week and happy making.